because we're gonna check the two black ones with the ohm meter.
So it's that time of the year to get the EPA check. Unfortunately, your money light's on. That would be the engine light. It's an 0031, which is an ODBC open heater short. And it gets a 2237, which is a O2 oxygen sensor problem. So a few small items had to come off: the windshield wipers, the cover underneath the windshield wipers, the windshield wipers itself, this metal tray that holds the windshield wiper device, and then the windshield wiper motor. Yeah. Then we just carefully draped this towel over here, and sure enough, there she blows. So that is the sensor. There are 4 wires. I managed to jam my head in this small space with this light there, and I found the connector. Then the heater circuit is just basically these 2 black wires here. So we put an ohm meter on there, and it showed an open short, meaning that there's nothing electrically between these 2 wires. So the heater is indeed bad. Now, the shield, well, the shield shouldn't be hard to come up because apparently that's not even on. Let's see, we've got a bolt here, and a bolt here. So we should be able to take that shield off to get to the oxygen sensor. Now, on the interwebs, I was told that it's hard to get to that socket, but there's a shield around that. So I'm gonna order the right tool. Now, another flag here is that mark, which is typically when you put a used part on, it's gonna have some sort of weird paint on it. So it's quite possible this has already been changed with the used one. But just got to get the wrench down there and first got to order it. So I'm going to put it all back together. Did notice a lot of rust over there on the old shockolator, so I'm going to put some anti-rust conversion on there. Now the hinges are all fucked up due to a certain accident recently. Let's see if I can bend those back since I got this whole thing exposed. But yeah, put it all back together and go order some parts. Well, at least I know how to get to there. It took about 15 minutes truly to get to all this. Laser focus. He catches it occasionally. Last week I determined the oxygen sensor was bad. It's the one before the catalytic converter near the back of the engine. I had to take all this apart to get to it. So I got the part yesterday, and I think they fucked me. This is supposed to be like 14 inches long, this cable. And in my head, 14 inches was going to be plenty long enough because it's 14 inches. There's 1, so there's 6 inches, plus that's 11 inches. Okay, so there's 2 inches there, plus that, so that's 6 inches. And then from 6 inches over, that's not 14 inches. 14 inches would be out here. So this is a good gamble. I can't easily look at it until I take it apart because the way it's way back underneath all this crap, it's down there. I'm gonna be pissed if this doesn't fit. Only because I did this just 2 days ago. I knew exactly what I needed. I needed a 10mm with an extension, a 14mm for the wipers, and I knew what process to get off. I got this off in 5 minutes. I'm gonna take this off. I'm just gonna put this aside. But there it is. I'm gonna go measure that power with the connector and see if. See, this is gonna be tight. This just doesn't. It looks like it's just gonna fit. So basically, I have to unscrew this piece that is down there. And to do so, I'm going to use this to slide on. It goes over the wire, and then this wrench will clip onto here, and hopefully I have enough torque. I may have to get a pipe or a torque multiplier. But because this is on the exhaust, it's not going to come out easy. Hopefully it won't break. I got it out. So this is the part that makes it difficult, because you got to get a tool in there that's thin enough. The one I would have preferred, this one, which is heavy duty, she just ain't going to get in there because of that. It just doesn't get in there. So I'd use one of these, which doesn't have that, the same offset, because there's not a lot of room down there. So we'd end up right about here, and you just don't have enough room to put a big extension on there, which is what I wanted to do here, but this isn't 3/4, it's 3/8. So then I had to add an extension on there. By the time I'm like this long, and there's just this much space. So I ended up using a crescent wrench on this, which worked. My other fear was that I'd bend this out. This doesn't bend. This, I bent these before, and then kind of pushed them back a little bit. So yeah, the new one doesn't have that feature. I'm going to see if I can pop this off, because if I can, then I'll put it back on. Now there's a washer here, and that's there's stuff on there, anti-seize. So I'm going to take that apart. Again, this doesn't work, period. And it's done. The heater's broken. It's got 0 ohms, meaning there's no electricity that passes through the heater. 20 minutes of fighting, but I was able to grind this piece off of the old one and remove this heat shield and put it back on. Assuming that the original one lasted 200,000 miles, I want to give this the full benefit of being able to survive another 200,000 miles. Of course, the connectors are different. So this one goes this way. This is the new connector. And even if I pull those plastic pieces out, they're still completely different. So I think I'm gonna have to pull the pins out and physically swap those two. I'm not sure. Well, this is working. So this is the old connector, and basically you take those little pins right there and you push them up with a sharp object and pull the wire out. So I transferred the 2 blue. Now I'm going to transfer the 4 black over. Fortunately, the black doesn't matter which one's which. So just got to get in there. What a clusterfuck. Okay, well, now we got the new connector on. So we'll put this back in for the second time. Not sure who's getting the better deal here. She's getting entertained and she's in the air conditioning, and I'm outside sweating. Oh yeah, put gas in the old electric car. She's 2013 Volt, 150,000 miles on it. She's in really good shape. She's got all the parts, all the keys. She has a level 1 charger, so it only does 110. Did I just put 6 gallons in there? No. Well, I'll be dipped. Look at that, 300-mile range, 6. How's that work? I don't think I put in that little amount of money in a long time. So yeah, I guess I can go now. Okay, this is really cool. I came down a big hill, rode the brakes, and I went a half mile before the engine turned back on, just from the energy. Yeah, I did go a little slow, but it was very cool watching that. So, yeah, I'm impressed. The graphics are awesome. So, power went out last night, and even though most of these are set to automatically start, they don't. So my job today is chief button pusher. These are on, that one's not on. Well, yeah, fun. So, what do we think? Well, I charged it all day long, and I've driven 6 miles on battery. It's really weird driving down the street and just whoosh, and it's quiet. So I really like that. I'm getting used to electronics. Like if I let off the gas, it's charging the battery. If I hit the gas, she does. She's not slow. She's not working fast. She's not a Tesla, but she gets up and goes. One weird thing to get used to, the Atkinson engine. So the engine, when it runs, is constant speed. It's not used to propel the vehicle, move the vehicle. It's only there to charge the battery. So either you're charging the battery electric out of the wall at 220 or 110, currently 110, or you're driving it down or not charging it, or you're using the gas and charging the battery. It's odd in that feature. Somebody went fucking crazy on the buttons. The buttons are everywhere, and I haven't figured out the heating and cooling, because every time I get in there, it turns on the heating and cooling. One thing that Joe's really going to like is when you hit a button on the remote, it will heat or cool the car before you even get into it. So if you got a charge lady in the garage, she can hit the button. It's going to use electricity to warm the car up before she even gets into it. She's going to love that feature. One bad thing is apparently 2015 or newer are the only ones that have OnStar. So all the fancy, what's my car doing in the parking lot, how much charge do I have on my cell phone integration doesn't work at all. I did sign up for XM for free, but it didn't seem to take. Like the radio, I gotta hit some buttons and get it to wake up. Screens are nice, and this is cute, little thing with a little charger port up there. Very comfortable. It's a dense car, so it rides smooth. There's a lot of weight in here, and I think that will help out in the wintertime. Speaking of wintertime, the guy called me after I left and said he's got 4 wheels that he intended to put snow tires on, so maybe we'll be having some blizzards. Still getting used to this. The Prius doesn't have this. The Prius has a little thing, and the Prius, you just hit a button to stop it and put it in park. This, you got to physically put it in park, so it's a little weird there. So right now I'm regenerating. I don't know if this has golf cart mode because I haven't found it yet. It's got all sorts of other features. Did fix the headlight that was out, so that was kind of a sign. This is kind of neat. It's got automatic light control, so it will just automatically turn on and off as needed. So that's kind of cool. Assume when it rains. Every time I hit the button, it turns it on to Bluetooth, so let's not hit anything. But these are all tense sensitive, but you got the screen here, see it's paused. If I hit the button, it'll start. So yeah. And of course, I'm sitting at the stoplight and there's no engine, which is wicked weird. And off we go. So I'm gonna focus on the driving now. So that's a cool feature. Came up, told me which tire to land, what air to. Never had that before. So we got pizza, and we got a brewery. We got the fancy garage door, we got the outdoor seating. I think I parked the Volt in the garage. I haven't got out to look, but yeah, the backup camera is very unhappy. It's just like, what the fuck? So it's handy that it shows you, but it comes up with alerts everywhere on all sides except for forward, going, what the fuck? We're doing a little surgery here. We got a keg down issue. We'll just do some retrofitting, but the beer will flow. I think when they went to the they give me all the candles.
Well, there's more than 80 down there.